Wow, it's October already. Can you believe it? October. I'm having to even look at my phone to see what the date is in October. It's October 4. Month's almost gone, isn't it? This is an exciting month, as well as November, December, all of the days leading up to Christmas time. But before any of that happens, we have an election coming up, and I'm wearing my flag hat today. Uh, I just I just feel like there's a huge need for me to share with you during the month of October, leading up to our election, some truths we need to be aware of. Now, as you know, I've been privileged to travel a number of places over the years since 1979, and one thing I've learned is this: where we are right now, we don't have a clue about what it really means to live in a Marxist country. Oh, sure, there are a few people in our country that do, and they don't want it. That's why they came here. But I want to share with you some things leading up to our election that you need to be praying about. In May of 1919, Dusseldorf, Germany, the Allied forces came across a copy of the Communist Rules for Revolution. Now, we're a long way from that, aren't we? But Marxism still assiduously follows these rules. Their goals are uncomfortable, and they're uncomfortably near us. So I want to quote from these rules, and I want you to stop after each one I read and think, what is the current present day situation where you're living around our nation? The first one is this: there are really only three major tenets in what was discovered in May of 1919. Number one, corrupt the young, get them away from religion, get them interested in sex, make them superficial, destroy their ruggedness. Number two, get control of all means of publicity. And there are 7 things under that. The first one is this: get people's minds off their government by focusing their attention on athletics, sexy books, plays, and other trivialities. Divide the people, number 2, into hostile groups by constantly harping on controversial matters of no importance. Number 3, destroy the people's faith in their natural leaders by holding the latter up to contempt and ridicule. Number 4, always preach true democracy, but seize power as fast and as ruthlessly as possible. Number 5, by encouraging government extravagance, destroy its credit, produce fears of inflation, rising prices, and general discontent. Number 6, foment unnecessary strikes in vital industries, encourage civil disorders, foster lenient and soft attitudes on the part of the government towards such disorders. Number 7, by argument, cause the breakdown of old moral virtues: honesty, sobriety, continence, faith in the pledged word, and ruggedness. And the third thing, cause the registration of all firearms on some pretext with a view to confiscating them and leaving the population helpless. Now, I didn't just make this up. This goes back to just after the Bolshevik Revolution of 1917. These are the tenets. This is how you bring down a country. This is how you produce the change you want. I've had a chance to witness Marxism in the world, chance to see it, where nothing is safe. Oh, sure, the wealth is taken from the wealthy, but it's not given to the poor. It's given to those in power. Do you think for 1 minute in Russia that Putin has given away all of his billions? No. I've witnessed lines as long as a mile where people stand to buy a necessity and then it run out. And people run away by those in authority. You see, we don't think twice about salt, do we? But it's one of those commodities that can be controlled. You don't think twice about sugar. I wish you could go back and talk to your grandparents, some of you, your parents and your great-grandparents, about the rationing of World War II. That was very, very, very minor compared to what happens in a Marxist regime. Look at Venezuela. Look at Cuba. Look at Russia. When you start seeing what the true ideologies of Marxism is, I hope you don't want any part of it. Oh, people say equality. Well, let me tell you, in the places I've been, most of the jobs we enjoy, they won't be there anymore. Will not happen. When the fall of the Soviet Union happened, it was my job in recruiting people to go and distribute food, and we distributed millions and millions of food bags. I didn't go, but I recruited people, and people come back and they would say, wow, people would stand for 3.5 hours in a line to get to a McDonald's and spend a week's wage to buy the minimal amount of food. Think about that. Do you honestly think that in the midst of that revolution that everything would be distributed equally? No. Never will happen. Everything you own will be taken. The government will have it and give it to whom they will. Your vehicles, most time, will be useless. With my eyes, I've seen wonderful cars rotting because they could not get allocations of gasoline. Do you realize in many of those countries, they look at us as the oasis they dream of? And they want to get away from their land and get to our land because we have freedom. And what are we doing? We're promoting a Marxism under the pretense of equality. You see, capitalism is hated in the world. And we blame those who are industrious and capitalists for the inequity of the system. Under Marxism, your government will own it. They will decide who gets wealthy. Those who are in control when it happens will be the super wealthy. Oh, you won't have billionaires unless they're in the government. And while you may think, aha, we finally got them, whatever state you're in right now, whatever condition, whatever financial situation is yours right now, it will not be near that well under Marxism. You think you can go out and invent something? You think you could even start your own business, sell stuff? Not if the government doesn't sanction it. You see, we've already started by corrupting our young. The falling away of faith, which Scripture says is going to happen. that in the latter days there will be a great falling away. Now, you can look at that latter days as toward the end time, or you can look at it at the latter days of your life, but there is a great falling away. And what about interest in other things? Do you realize that in Hollywood, the number one producing, money making, you know what it is? Pornography. Pornography. Get people's minds off of stuff and get them on the superficial. Do you realize that most of us as Americans don't know how to survive? We've congregated in cities, and if there was a mass problem in our country, what would happen? More riots, more killing, so people could take what you have for their survival because they don't know how to survive. Have you ever seen a more athletic, crazy country than ours? In fact, I was so amazed. This is Tuesday when I'm recording this, and there's going to be a debate tonight. And you can actually go online and bet on remarks that are going to be made. It's become like a game show to those who want to make money. So you could say that what they did not know in 1919, when the Dusseldorf, Germany copy of the Communist Rules for Revolution was found, we could add another. Talked about trivialities taking over. What about TV? Wow. Could you go a day without it, a week without it, a month without it? Maybe they should add cell phones. People can't think anymore without it. Have you ever seen more hostile groups than what we have right now? Controversial matters. Faith in leaders? No. Even those who want Marxism try to tell us they're after democracy. Black Lives Matter? The basic tenets they've tried to pull down this week, what does it say? Our leaders are trained in Marxism. Have you ever seen more government extravagance? We owe some $25 trillion in debt, maybe twice that much. We don't know. It might be being kept from us. But when you get such an extravagant amount of money, what's another 2.2 trillion? You see, to bring America to its knees in our current state, all you got to do is stop electricity. All you got to do is turn off the internet. All you got to do is say, well, we'll let this group do this without repercussions. We have lost our moral values. We have lost what it means to be honest. We have lost what it means to be true to your word. We certainly don't know how to survive. And right now, even the First Amendment is under attack. The Second Amendment definitely under attack. Why? Because one of the great tenets of Marxism is this: a country of faith cannot be taken. A country of armed citizens cannot be overthrown. Food for thought on this Sunday night.